Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of my journal. Um, Today is Friday. It's a little bit earlier today. It's 5:23 in the afternoon, and I'm here to go through what has happened this week. I haven't taken any trades, unfortunately, but yeah, I feel that I'm making progress. There's a couple of trades that we've spotted on Monday that have gone the way of the way I kind of predicted them. However, based on my let's call it strategy and entering after engulfing with a risk to reward of 1 to 0.5 would have paid out, but the bottom line is for a long reward trade I was a little bit off. So I don't know actually what happened with this particular one. I'm just looking at our pairs, the pairs that I figured out on Monday analysis. And the first one was NZD USD, which is going to go through them. I'm not going to waste my time today. There's no point going through them very thoroughly. We're just looking at opportunities that we missed, things that happened this week, and maybe any learnings as such. But I'm going to kind of leave that learning after the chart. I'm just going to look at these 6 pairs and briefly look through what happened with the other pairs that I had in my watch list. And it's time to kind of refresh the list and go through everything and just see where everything is at. But there has been a couple of things that I've kind of refreshed my memory on, and I may have been doing things slightly different. But anyway, NZD USD, as we know, we were waiting for confirmation at the area of interest rejection. Based on market structure, we were looking at the time for buys. Currently now, but also this week, actually Monday, we were still, and last week of course, we were on a bullish trend, and it is obviously clear looking at the weekly now. It's just about closing that we have had a retracement. We are still valid, we are still bullish. However, we had the retracement, so it is important to understand the retracement. And I guess looking at this, I did expect the retracement. Maybe just slightly less than what it has done. So let's just go to daily and just have a look. So daily, we can actually see here what happened. It reached this area. We were waiting for confirmation of rejection. So we waited to see a breaking above and a retest before we actually put a buy. But the market has actually gone a bit lower, has retraced deep into the lower part of the chart and rejected as such the EMA. On a daily, we are kind of on the EMA, so I can't really confirm whether we are rejecting or not, but it is at the EMA now, and it is at this area of interest. It is a bit hard to tell if this is the point where it's actually going to trend, as in go back on trend or go lower. The reality is, if it is going to go below daily high low, is going to change the whole dynamics of the chart, and then it's not going to be a valid trade anymore. But just looking at it a little bit from my point of view of trading small. So this is before this is Monday basically. And we had this engulfing that has been forming. So just looking at this quickly, this was Monday, Friday, Sunday. So this is the first candle that happened on Monday, and I was looking for the retracement. So we basically broken above at a 4-hourly, and we come back down to retest. So round about here, let me just see if I can put a line. I don't know if this is gonna work, but round about here, I was looking for an entry signal. So if we're dropping down to the 1 hour, for example, let's see if that line is still okay. So this line is exactly there. So at the 1 hour mark, we can actually see this full engulfing. So based on 1 hour as an entry signal, and possibly even going to the 2 hours. Yeah, even at the 2 hours. So 1 hour and the 2 hour, both of them having a bullish. Hold on. So this was bullish. Yeah, both of them, the 1 hour and the 2 hour, both of them were bullish still. With the retracement, they did not manage to go below this weekly high low, and we received this engulfing signal. So my logic was that if I enter here after this candle has closed engulfing, I can get my trade of 1 to 0.5. So this particular one here, if I'm looking at it, I had a very, very tight stop loss of 15.9 pips, which is really, really, really tight. But the way I looked at it, is that if we are to go below this point here, we would change the structure anyway. So I would be wrong, totally wrong. So I didn't think it mattered if I was here. I mean, if you look at it, what happened now, I would have been well and truly off. I would have not made anything. But if I would have stuck to my my original thinking and just stick to 0.5, 1 to 0.5, I would have easily made that trade and be able to secure a positive trade. But from a learning point of view, it is it's hard for me to look at this and understand, hey, why has this done that? I can't really tell why it has done that, but I know for sure that if you wait to get confirmation, I mean, you count these candles, 1 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour. So you have this engulfing, and then you have 4 hour push, and then you have all of these little candles and dojis. All of these are hours. So you kind of have so much time to decide, am I going to exit or am I going to hold? So, you can kind of assume, I can assume, which is bad, of course. I can assume that that's my trade and I done it. But looking at it from a point of the retracement, has the retracement finished? Was that the level of retracement? The only thing I can think of is just going back to the daily and understand the area of interest just a little bit more clearly, because obviously we had an area of interest here, and this area of interest has got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. So 4 touches, even more than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 touches. Now, every time the market has hit that area, actually from above, I would say. So we came down from above. See, it didn't actually, just let's go back a little bit further. So from here, came down, didn't hold, came down, didn't hold, didn't hold. It went down way lower than that. And even now, we can actually see that's lower than this area of interest. So this area of interest is probably around about there. Now we know that the area of interest is always within the top or bottom of the current leg. And looking at this one right here in between, I mean daily, we're looking at daily right now. So this is our basically our area of interest, yeah. And I can actually see it. We have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touches, 5 touches, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 touches. So it is very, very possible. It is very, very possible that this area of interest is the one that really matters, and we will be seeing a reaction from it, because the reality is we are on a bullish move. So weekly is bullish, daily is bullish. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Right now we're reaching this area. So what I would be waiting and looking for is a confirmation, like a rejection at the area of interest, and we can actually move. I'm gonna go to the 4 hourly. We can move this down here and place a trade. Find the entry. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Yeah, but that's where I'm at with NZD USD, and it kind of makes sense. Yeah, so basically we hit this area of interest, we have rejected, and now we're coming back down to retest, and we're going up. So it is really, really hard to know what was going to happen, but I'm struggling to understand whether this is going to go up or not. I mean, it is about middle of weekly right now, weekly leg, so it is possible that it's going to do some gibberish, which is something I do not want to be part of. So it's going to just flop. Sorry guys. Bless me. It's winter here, so hopefully I'm not getting a flu. But yeah, just going to weekly, I can see it's in the center, so I'm expecting to see something like here, this stupid agglomeration of candles up and down, just floating about. and not a clean move to the upside. I mean, you can look at this on here, for example. It's come up here, it's rejecting, it's retesting, it's gone up for a push, and now it's coming back down. It's going back down under, and then it's not holding. It's going to have a push to the upside. So it's possible we're going to see the exact same thing, which is why it's probably good to just hold and see what is going on. But I'm just going to mark it. I'm going to mark it like I have just done. I'm going to put this here. I'm happy with that. Let's go a little bit higher. So this is not, I'm not entering there. I'm just waiting for this candle to close before I can mark it and see what we can get from it. And let's just change this. So wait for confirmation of rejection based on market structure. Look for, yeah, we're still gonna look for buys. And I mean, it's what we say weekly, daily. You know, both of them are pointing to the upside. So let's see. Yeah, and that's what that is. And GBP NZD. So just going back quickly, NZD USD. If I was to take that trade, it would have given me what I'm after. It would have given me 1 to 0.5. And remember, my trading logic to scale my small account is to risk the whole account to make half of the whole account. So let's say I'm starting with 100, I'm entering with 100 to make 50. Let's say I'm reaching 50,000, I'm entering with 50,000 to make 25. And then I'm gonna enter with 75,000 to make 37.5. And then I'm gonna keep doing that until we get to 100 grand. The point, not the point, but the 100 grand, I think, is the point where we can kind of start looking at lowering that risk to the bottom. And what I'm aiming to do, or not aiming, but as everybody else, and of course you guys, you want to be able to have this as your main source of income, and that's what I'm aiming for. You know, I'm not aiming for this to just be a side hustle. I want this to replace my business, replace my work, so I can just focus on doing this, and I can work anywhere in the world. I can work, go on holiday and just work, you know, spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever. But I just want to be able to do that. So that I'm happy with that outcome, because knowing that I can actually, you know, risk it and be able to have a conversion, it's actually quite good for me. Anyway, that's my logic. So just moving on to GBP NZD. GBP NZD, it had, so Monday we see here we just broke below. We were bullish, sorry, bullish, sorry. So weekly was bullish, but we broke below here, and we were looking for a rejection to go down to the downside. Now I would say daily was bearish at the time, and it is bearish now still. And we're looking at 4 hourly. Sorry, I was just trying to get it clear in my mind. Maybe I should start top down. Okay. So weekly is bullish. Okay, weekly is bullish. It had the retracement. We were obviously at the area of interest, so I was actually expecting for a buy, of course, because we would be rejecting at this area of interest and go up. But if you're looking at this, look how low it's got. It went really, really, really low. So what I have done when I had a look at it on Tuesday night, I think, to look for entries, I looked at it and I was like, okay, so this definitely has the power to push to the downside. So I went to the 4 hourly and I had a look, and I thought to myself, okay, so we're breaking below and we're retesting. So I've marked this trade, and I was looking for an entry. Now, when I looked at it, it was still growing. I believe this was the candle that kind of said to me, hey, look, it's closed. It had a rejection of the area of interest and a full engulfing in a trend to the downside. So I felt confident in believing that this is going to go to the downside. So I've actually taken, not taken a trade, but I've marked it. I've marked it for a sell. Monday, let me see what I'm here. I believe I was about here. So Monday, Tuesday, where are we? Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. Monday, what? Everything is Monday? Tuesday. Okay, so look, I think I've probably marked this on Monday, not Tuesday, because it's not, Tuesday is here. So I definitely did it on Monday night. I marked it on Monday night. So probably what I'm thinking is I haven't made the note. I'm thinking that I was waiting for the deeper retracement and it didn't happen. But this gets to show how easy you can make that 0.5. I mean, even if I was to enter after this full engulfing here and have my stop loss at the area of interest, I could have easily still made that 125. I mean, look at it. The only thing is, this is Monday, yeah, Monday, Sunday. So this is Monday. So let's say Monday closed engulfing on a downtrend. I could have made this in the retracement. However, this would be a degenerate trade because it's against weekly, and I believe against daily at the time. But anyway, it did what it did. Now, daily is still bearish. We are at the EMA. Possibly look for a long position. But we're gonna do nothing now. It's Friday. We have another day tomorrow to close, and we'll see what is at, and we'll do a Monday or Sunday night analysis and go from there. But this hasn't been the cleanest. I wouldn't, most certainly, even if I did spend my time sitting here watching, I would have not traded that. EuroCAD. So EuroCAD, we are already at the 4-hour limb. So this was Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, so we were looking at it on Monday here, and it had, just like we said, the push to the upside to reject this area of interest. Now, the reality is this would have been the signal, the engulfing, which has a rejection of the EMA. And that would have had the ginormous, like, I wouldn't say necessarily ginormous, but would have had it would have been a great trade. And everything was bearish as well. So we were at the area of interest, we were rejecting the EMA, and we were going to the downside. Slightly off to what I marked it, of course, but I was expecting to see a rejection at the area of interest. Now, it is possible that my area of interest is a little bit off. It could have gone there or even there. Just looking at it here, I would have had my 3 touches right there. 1, 2, 3, and then you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this area would have been very good. So it's kind of highlighting to me that the area of interest is such an important piece of information that you have to add to your charts. So I guess going forward, I need to pay extra attention to the area of interest. So I make sure that if there is a rejection, is happening at least around it, because if you place your area of interest wrong, the price will just go through it. So if you put a trade at that point, you'll be fucked. Already sleepy. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day, long week, I guess. But even as it is this trade, look at it. If you were just to watch it and close it when this candle closed it, you would have made a risk to reward of, what are we, 1 to 1.6. So that's almost 1 to 2. To me, I'll take that any day, to be honest. Anyway, we'll leave it alone. We'll leave it at that. We're not gonna go any further. So we had so far 3 opportunities. We could have potentially taken these trades. We could have taken them with a little bit of risk, but we would have been, in a positive position, which is really good. Now, looking at this other one, you see Monday, it had this big push to the downside. Actually, this was up, rejecting this area of interest, and it's come down here also on Monday. My God, Tuesday. So I've marked this here at the EMA. So this was really nice to me. Looking at this, I saw all of this rejection and on the EMA and at the area of interest. And on top of everything, this area of interest was pretty respected. It had lots of touches even at the higher time frame. So I felt pretty, let's say, comfortable that it was going to just reject and go to the upside, but it just happened that I didn't do anything. I didn't enter. And this keeps getting caught on my bloody mouse pad. Oh, I just broke it. Oh well, good. It was annoying me. So it is doing what it was meant to do, and it still has a bit of a push to just reach this point here. So that would have been an amazing trade if I was to enter in it. I was able to recognize this on Tuesday, and I've marked it, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, this is actually beautiful. So this trade would have had a potential of 1 to almost 4, 1 to 4. So if you enter with 100, you could have made 400. If you enter with 1 million, you could have made 4 million. Anyway, look, I'm pretty proud of being able to recognize these things, and this is what I would have exited. You see, I would have entered there and exited right there. And if this was my $50,000 trade, I would have exited with $25 instead of taking, what did I say? 1 to 4. Instead of taking 5, 10, 15, 20. Instead of walking away with 200 grand, I would have only walked away with 50 grand. And I would have felt really angry and I would have felt pissed off and everything. But guys, the reality is, I'm looking at it now and I can see it. But how many of them is going to go like this? How many is going to go like this? If we're looking back at NZD/USD, if I haven't moved it, I did move it. I had entered here, like you remember, and that would have given me 1 to 0.5. I would have kicked me out in no time. So what's the point in waiting? Waiting. If you made your profit, that's it, move on. Now I do know the way I do it is actually wrong, because if you, let's say, take just 10 trades, for example, if I'm, I don't know, 30% profitable with the 10 trades, and I spend $100 per trade, that means $1,000, out of which 700 have been lost. And in the ones that I won, the 3, I made 150. So that's really not good. It's not a good equation to break even. But the reality is, I don't see how I can scale this unless I go to prop firms, which I'm really unfamiliar with, and I'm not keen to explore that yet. But I'm thinking, if I can save that bullet, if I can save my $100, then it doesn't really matter. Well, of course it does matter, because if I reach 100 grand and I lose it, then I'm fucked, right? But if this proves to work, then I think is a pretty sustainable way of trading to just get the small account to a decent account. And once that happened, then you can kind of minimize your risk and you can play, maybe 1,000 to make 2,000 and so on. But until then, unfortunately, we have to bite the bullet and make it happen somehow. So the way I look at it, I spend $150 a week playing Lotto. If I have every week a go at making that 100 grand, and even if I blow it, who cares? At least there's a 50-50 chance that I might make it, I think. But yeah, that's my logic. Now Euro AUD had an amazing push as well. Now I was obviously not seeing it to go that far to the bottom. Looking at weekly was bullish, and now weekly has obviously changed. And to be perfectly honest, just looking at a bigger picture, we are coming down from a very bearish market, right? Had the retracement hasn't changed the market. Then we have created a new lower low and a lower high, and then we broke it in a bullish pattern. Now there's something I would love to talk to Alex about, but it's really hard to get hold of him. I've made this indicator which is showing me the weekly leg, and the way Alex explained it with his snaky trick, trusty snake trick, he's talking about this. And honestly, guys, if you do watch this and you're not watching it 5 years from now, just let me know. It's 24th of July 2026. So if you're watching this video close to this date, you can absolutely say in the comments or just send me a private message. So what Alex is saying is, if this was obviously, let's just get a line so we can mark it. This was the low low, and this was the high low. Let me see. And this was the high low right here. Now this market has had the retracement, and then it had another push to the downside, which meant that this has become the new lower high, and this has become the new lower low. Okay, but now what happens? We had this push to the upside and then another push to the downside. So the minute that this happened, that meant that we create a new lower high and a new lower low, right? Which meant that the minute that we have gone above this, we have created a bullish market. So this now has become the higher low, and this has become the higher high. And then further to break it again and have another higher high and a new higher low, which is now being broken again to carry on to the downside. So I don't really know whether this was just a bit of a nonsense kind of decision. Should have this stayed bearish rather than taking consideration of this small dimple. Forgive me, guys. And forgetting about this little dimple and consider this as the bearish leg, and considering that this is still bearish, you know, and going to downside, because what it means is, it means I would be looking for sales rather than buys, you know. But before we were bearish, so sorry, I was bullish, so I was looking for buys. So it, you know, kind of changes the way you're looking at things, knowing this. So if you know, let me know. I mean, looking at this right now, I would say that I'm wrong, and I can probably avoid this in the future, and just say, hey, if it's too messy, just consider the previous leg the most powerful one as the leg, and then just ignore everything else. And that meant I would still be bearish, which means I would look for a sell rather than a buy. Now going to daily is bearish, which is great, and is rejecting this area of interest, which means now we can look at 4 hourly we can look for a signal to actually sell. And looking at this marker here, that was Monday. Yeah, we've put this marker here after the retest to enter, but the reality is we've never received an actual engulfing to the downside. And my light has just died. Shit. Hold on. Is it stopping? I'll put the lights on. Sorry. But shade on my face, so ignore that. And yeah, it never really given us a full engulfing signal to the downside, and I didn't take the trade. But the reality is, if I was to go to a lower time frame, that would have been a good entry signal. Like we're coming to below this area of interest, we retesting, and we're going to the downside. So I could have entered right there. Stop loss, I like to stick to the area of interest for whatever reason. It seems more clean, more tidy. And take profit, set the take profit at 0.5. So clearly, even this small, this potential for this to actually happen, to go the right way. I can't speak for it, because I'm probably a little bit of a let's say not a wuss, but I just need to find the balance of work and trading. For sure, I'm absolutely struggling with this, and getting the time ready for me to be able to just watch it and place those trades. Because when I'm at work, it's not that easy to take the phone and find the baby pips, get a pip size, lot size, and all of that size based on my current bloody wallet size, you know, the what is it called, the account size. So it's I find the urge to just stay here and be here and watch it and set them up. Enough that I set them up, just walk away. And what I want to do, I want to focus on maximum 2 trades a week. That's it. I don't want to put 10 trades. I want to put 1 trade close to Tuesday, one trade close to Wednesday, and close both of them by Friday. But I'm not gonna, I mean, yes, I would probably close them myself if they do not reach my 0.5. But if they do, it's automatic. It will just go out. And I'm 1,000,000% certain, if the trade that I place that trade with and is going to want to save and risk to reward, I'll absolutely be gutted, because I could have pushed my account so much faster, so much higher. But the bottom line is, I'm trying to create a discipline, so I'm not gonna ruin the overall logic of me growing the account, which is taking it to 100 grand and then reconsidering how we're trading. But yeah, Hero AUD, I'm so proud that would have given us the opportunity again to go to have a successful small trade. But I didn't trade, so it's still a good thing, but also a lesson. Now looking at this one, GBP AUD. So GBP AUD weekly was bullish, daily was bullish. We were waiting for a rejection at the area of interest plus the EMA rejection to place a long position. Now clearly I was wrong. Clearly I was wrong. We were underneath this area of interest. We never really made it above the area of interest. My comments were clearly related to this area of interest. Let me just go to daily to see if I'm missing anything. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the heck I said that for. Maybe I was expecting it because it was bullish. Daily. So it was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, honest to God, guys, I have no fucking idea why I said that. Maybe I never changed the notes. Maybe I never changed. Maybe, but look, maybe I was too tired as well. The reality is this was already underneath, and it was forming a retest. It was retesting, and it was really far already from the EMA, so I would have expected it to come to the downside. But anyway, it's gone. I screwed this one up, and it just shows that a small mistake can really cost your account. Imagine if I did enter this one the wrong way with 100 grand. I would, or say I was at 75 to make, so 75 to make 35 to get me to 100 grand. And there's one thing I want to show you, but I can't actually show you. Anyway, I've done a little breakdown of how many trades we need. So I just need 15 trades to give me the 0.5 in order to compound the account to $100,000. Now, it's not that bad. Let me see. Excel. It's not that hard at all. I mean, it is hard if you don't take the trades right, but it is really it's really cool to be able to look at it and understand. To look at it and understand how simple this could be. Can you see it? Nah, you can't see it. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So I have started $100,000, and week one. Cool. So the way I've done it, let me see. Can we do it? Capture, trading view, display capture, trading display. Oh, add source. Scene 2. Let's go. X. So, give me a second, guys. I really want to show you this. I'm sure you've seen it online. Excel, source, add, cancel. Excel. How do I edit? No source selected, of course. Scene. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you can see me. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Anyway, so I was just gonna say I was gonna show you this. I'll try next time and I'll show you. But basically, what I'm showing is I have got for each account size, I have got 4 weeks to get to that amount, and I have, for example, when I started at $100, the first week I was able to convert that into 150, and then I was able to take that 150 plus 75, which was 225. I was able to place a trade also the first week of that amount having that account size, and I took that to 337, and then the following week I was able to take the 337 to make $168 and take the account to 500. So I started at 500, I lost it, and I came back to 500, and I haven't been traded since. But I have from now, so from $500, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 trades. I have 13 trades. The 13 trades that have to give me 0.5 in a consecutive row in order to reach 100 grand. And then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So if I get 19 trades right, I'll have $1 million in the account, which is absolutely insane. And I, I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen anyway, because when you reach trade number 13, you already at $150,000, which means for you to risk the whole account, one is insane because it's a lot of money to burn if you get it wrong, and two, it will be hard to use trading, or what is it called, MetaTrader or whatever. What's the name of it? I haven't been trading in such a long time. I think it's MetaTrader, where you place the trades in order to do it. So I'll probably have to split it in many little ones. So I'm hopefully I can get myself familiarized with it and be able to place like 3 positions in order to do that. But I think even if I reach 100 grand, and then I'll be able to trade, say, with $10,000 or maybe even $5,000 to make 2,500 and keep adding a little bit, I think that'll be amazing. And to be perfectly honest, what I have been thinking was, rather than risking the whole account like 100 grand, once you reach to that point, to actually be able to start the new challenge, which is exactly the same thing, but instead of starting at $100, starting a little bit higher, maybe at $5,000 or even $3,000, and just keep doing that, keep growing that. That's another 13 trades, another 13 trades, and another, or maybe less, because from 5,000. So if you start with 5,000, 5,000 is a lot of trades. So to get to 5,000, that is trade number 10 from $100. So you can cut down 10 trades. Holy shit. Okay. So if you start with, currently, let's say you have in your account, you have $4,000. From there, you can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades. 8 trades in order to get to 100 grand again. Now, 8 trades, if you can by miracle get 2 trades a week, that is 2. So that's 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. What am I doing right? So, sorry, week 1. Okay, so week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. So just over a month, you can make another 100 grand. And then things change absolutely drastically, because if you have 200 grand in your account, then you can take that 5,000 to 10,000. So you can risk 10,000. And if you're starting at 10,000, that means you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades. And if you can keep doing that, you can actually reach a very wealthy status rather quickly. And once you have in your bank account, say 500 grand, then everything is going to change, because what you can do, then you can stop worrying about everything around you. You don't have to get in the car, you don't have to take calls, you don't have to do anything like that. For the business, you can just kind of slow it down, let your 2IC run it, get the surveyor and the accountant working together, and just focus on trading. And if you can focus on trading to bring the money, and then you can obviously start looking at decisions for the future, but you'll take those leaps then when you get to them. But for now, this is my logic explained to you, so you understand why I'm trying to risk so much for making so little. Even going back into replay trading, I was able to complete this challenge multiple times. I have blown it as well. I have absolutely blown it. And the thing is, you just need to pay attention. When I took the challenge going on to replay, I took it on, I think it took 3 hours or 4 hours, 3 hours to get to actually get to the bottom. And what I was also doing at some of them, I was hedging. So what that is, when you put a trade, if that trade has gone into the negatives, like in the loss, you would start another trade going the opposite, which is probably something you have thought of as well. I did test that. Is an absolute mess. It's impossible, absolutely impossible to manage it, because every single time you hit the 0 mark, as in the break even, you have to close it. So you have to close it when it's there, and you have to open it when it's there. Close and open, close and open. and it can happen so many times that it's hard to find a balance. I try to give it some breathing room. So I try to do it, let's say halfway on the stop loss and then activate, but quite often the actual trade will breed halfway down before it will go the way you said it's going to go. And what that means is just as you activate your hedge, you basically gonna go in a stop loss with your hedge. So it's a bit stupid. It was something that I just dreamed of one night, and I thought, man, that's good. But it's bad. It's bad, and yeah, that wasn't good. But some of the challenges I completed like that, and some of the challenges just went raw. I just looked at it and got them in. Um, it is doable, but it is, it's maybe my logic of 2 trades a week is not a good thing. I think one trade, just focus on it, keep it clean, keep it clear, and just go for it. I think that's it. Anyway, this is our trades, our pairs that we had. Now this one here, I'm not sure exactly what I left it, but clearly I marked it wrong. It went completely opposite. Weekly is bullish, daily is bearish. Look how tiny daily is. But daily is just closing now and it's going to be a lot bigger, but it is clear that daily is bearish. Weekly is bullish, so weekly is still going to the bottom. So it is possible that we're going to see a slightly deeper push to the downside. It is very, very possible. But we don't know until we see it. So we know weekly is bullish, so at the moment we would be naturally looking for buys. But because daily and 4-hourly are both of them bearish, it's likely that this is going to go down lower. So from a point of view of trading, you do nothing. You literally wait and let it settle, let the dust settle. That's it from that. Our watch list. And so this is that. GBP CHF. I haven't really done anything with it. I just marked it like that, and it has just moved so little. This is a pair that clearly can push hips, but then it just lazes out. This is consolidating, and it's kind of at a place where it's really hard to understand what is going to go. So I don't like to look at that. GBP CAD, this had its push to the upside. What are we? I had a look at this one Wednesday, Monday. So Monday had the push, it came back down to retest, retracement, and put a long position then. So I was waiting basically for this to finish retracing, but it went so low. It's actually at the bottom of weekly right now. It is possible that it's going to reverse now. Looking at the area of interest, it almost seems that is wrong, but obviously market can do whatever, but that area of interest could have been a little bit lower, I guess, or another area of interest below that. Anyway, apologies guys, I'm just tired. Now this, from a trading point of view, we will be looking at this again potentially on Sunday, but it is hit. It's hit the place where it's going to have a reaction from. So we need to look for the reactions and drop it at a lower time frame and see where it's going to go. I do think monthly and weekly being bullish, it is likely that this is going to keep going up. On another note, I can see we formed a double top, and the double top is also, I can see this second one is lower, which means it's come up with rejecting whatever area of interest we have got up here, which probably nada. Yeah, nothing for years. Yeah, so I don't know. It's 3 points right there, 1, 2, 3. So it is a valid area of interest, and we have formed some sort of a triple top, and it's going down, but it's not engulfing on the bearish side. So it's possible that this is going to finish retracing and go back to the other side. GBP JPY. This is probably not probably, but this was a nice trade. I was unclear where it's gonna go. I said to look. It looks like it will push to the upside. And Monday was here. Friday, Monday. So this is how the market started, and then it just pushed really, really hard. So I have marked this there, but the reality is I haven't actually said, "Hey, I'm entering a trade," so to speak, to chase it. But at least I was able to say to pick that this is going to go to the upside. Now, if this trade was to be taken, would have had a risk to reward of 1 to 5.3. Now, based on these couple of weeks that I've placed trades as such, it has been as high as 1 to 5.3 and as low as 1 to 8. Sorry, 1 to 1.8. So my 0.5 logic my 0.5 logic would have potentially worked. I would have been able to make money on all of them, but it is the only one trade that we have completely fucked up. But from my point of view, I looked at it anyway, and I haven't, or I didn't feel that I was gonna place that trade the way I have anyway. But it was marked, so it's good to look at it for what it could have been, of course. But yeah, just bear in mind when you look at it, if you do think that I'm wrong, just think of it the way I have, and probably only time will tell if what I want to do is going to work, and we're going to have lots to talk about in the future. And if I can reach my challenge of $100,000, I'm sure this account is going to change as well, because right now we're getting no views, which is again 24th of July 2026. We're just getting 3, 4, 5 views, but they're long videos, they're boring as fuck, because it's just a journal. So I want you guys to understand all of this shit that I'm recording and saying and doing. It's all for all for show. And what I mean by that is I'm no fucking trader. You know, I'm not good. I'm learning. So you watching someone learn how to trade. You're watching someone becoming a trader. So what that means to you is everything that I'm doing here, it's a bit pointless to you until I can prove that I've developed a niche and what I'm doing is actually working. So this thing with the 0.5, it's stupid to you right now if you're a good trader, like a profitable trader, but to me sounds like a good thing. And until I can prove to me that, hey, I'm completely wrong and it has not worked and I fucked up the account, then I can say, okay, I can take a step back and readjust a little bit. Don't change everything, but just readjust the thinking. And if I can start putting these trades in, I can learn from the losses at least and say, no, this is what I'm wrong, this is what I'm good, and become better. The whole point of this channel is to become profitable and see whether I am capable of becoming the man I need to be in order to be a successful trader, and to answer the question if trading can change my life. Because as we all know, the whole internet is full of rich people and rich kids that are trading and they're all flexing with amazing cars and watches and shit, but we can't see the grind. So think of it this way: I'm showing the grind, I'm showing the good and the bad until you become profitable, which is why I'm not cutting these videos, I'm not editing them. It's absolutely 0 point. Every time you watch a video, that's how long I've been sitting here in front of this computer to actually get through these few pairs and understand where we at. Now, am I looking at too many pairs? I absolutely think so. Me learning how to trade, I should never look at so many trades. But I kind of feel that there's more opportunities, more pairs, more opportunities. Is it wasting my time? Yes, but also I'm educating myself a little bit. Eventually, I'm gonna become, I'll be able to recognize the pairs that are good and the pairs that are bad. And that's why I've changed the colors. I have the greens as the ones that are most kind of stable and they always do what they do, to red and purple, which is just random fucking explosive shit. But I'm gonna try and find my place within the next month or so and just lock down maybe 9 pairs, and that's it. Do not look at anything else unless I see Alex posting something about other pairs, and maybe just now and then just have an eye, like just sneak an eye out and see a trade that looks good. But what should happen is have the locked pairs that are the best, and then have, if there's no opportunities out of those, then you go back to the red list and try and pick some. That's how it should be, and that's how I should do. Anyhow, just finishing this list quickly. I mean, look at this one. This is USD CAD. Monday, Tuesday, Monday. You see, I've marked this as a go to the downside, and thankfully it did exactly that. I can't really say thankfully because I was expecting it to go down. I was expecting it to go down before it's gonna go up, you see. So this was a counter trend, but it was too high. It was too high up in order to go put a trade. So I was literally, as soon as I got this engulfing signal, which was rejecting the EMA and the area of interest almost. Now, if you look at it, we had a constant signal of engulfing right from there and from here, from here, from here, and then it came back up and from here. So I could have literally on Monday Sunday, Monday. Monday open. This was the first candle on Monday. After that closed engulfing, I could have straight away put a trade, boom. And that would have had the potential until today to give us a 1, 2, 2.5, right? 1 to 2.5. Even if I was to, I don't think I would have had the stop loss that high. I would have definitely been lower, because it would have been no point to do that. If I entered here, that meant my market structure would have been there, a bearish market there. So I would have probably had 10 pips above that. So from here is 20. I would have gone to 35, 40 max, say 40. So that would have been 1 to 3.7 risk to reward. But just remember, I would have only aimed for 0.5, and I would have most certainly kept my stop loss there. So I could have made that trade in one, is this 4 hours? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 4, 28 hours. So just over a day and a half. And to be perfectly honest, I would have probably not even closed it, because I would have, this candle was not closed. So what I would normally do is wait for the candle to close before I actually put like exit, and I would have probably been able to make 1 to 1, which would have been amazing. But anyway, that's that. I didn't, so whatever. AUD USD, it did exactly that as well. It just went to the bottom. I marked it, and I would have easily made this one as well. 1 to 0.5. Look at that. So every time I'm doing this, it's like, I would say 9 times out of 10, it's giving me the 0.5. I really, really hope you can see what I can see as well. Don't get me wrong. Playing with the whole account at once, that means there's no second chances. If you fucked up, it's done. As in, if you are at $50,000 and you've done a wrong, not even 50, say 10,000. So it's slightly lower. 10,000 and you done a wrong move, you got excited, you entered early, you missed something. That's it. It's gone. Like, gone. So it's not the right thing to do. 100% is not. But is it one way to scale your small account? Yes, it is. Now, what do you have to lose? Let's say you do reach $50,000, or you do reach $70,000, and you enter the trade and you get to 100 grand, and then you push to carry on. You just invested $100. Yes, all of that money could have been yours. You could have bought a new car, paid debt, paid mortgage, whatever, phones, go on holiday for 3 months, but you wasted 8, say, like maybe 8 weeks out of your life. You wasted them, and you learned heaps. So even if you wasted them 8 weeks, you can still do it again, and you can do it again, and you can do it again. So if you can think in your mind, if you can set up like, so you don't care, you can actually get there, I believe. Because the more you care, it's gonna get really hard. So I've been kind of grinding on my memory, trying to make myself strong and resilient, so I can actually do it and get to that 100 grand. Anyway, just this quick note, at the 4 hourly, I can see a head and shoulders as well forming here, and I can see this retesting the neckline as such, but it's way higher than the neckline. So I don't think that's what it is, but things like this, I still don't understand. As in, is that retesting the neckline, or is the neckline just around here, or is it down the bottom here? What the fuck, you know? I would say neck is here at the bottom. It should have been stopped there, but it went above, so I guess it didn't matter. GBP AUD, look at this one. This is absolutely beautiful. There's notes here. Okay, it is. So weekly bullish, daily bullish, waiting for area of interest rejection plus EMA rejection to place a long position. Yeah. So this is obviously from the other side as well. We talked about this. I wasn't going to place this trade anyway, but this is what I marked it, and it's clearly that it had a much deeper retracement, and it is consolidating right now in the middle of weekly. So this consolidation is healthy. Weekly is bullish, so I'm expecting to see an explosive push to the upside, and I'm not going to change that. Okay, position EMA, long position at current AOI. Cool. Okay, so we'll just wait for this. We'll wait for this, and it should, boom, go up. GBP USD absolutely screwed us. So waiting for daily to break above the AOI and retest for a buy. Okay, so we were waiting for daily to break and above, and it didn't. So it just had a continuation to the downside. So clearly has changed the trend, and it's gone down. So what can I say? It is what it is. Now this came down, rejected, and came down here again to rejected the EMA for a very, very brief amount, and it went up. Now let's just see if I was to drop to 1 hour, for example. Can we see any stupid entry signals that would have screwed me? So this came down to retest. There's not one signal that will indicate to me that a potential buy is on the move, because right now the only thing I have is, so we broke above and we come down to retest it. We came down here and then we rejected. We came back down to retest, which is what I would expect. And then the trade is going up. However, this here is not an entry signal, so I would have definitely not entered. I would have waited for this. I would have seen this here with the doji and the engulfing, and that would have indicated to me that, holy shit, this could potentially go down. So I would have already had my guard up. And then I see this full engulfing, and I'm like, nah, that's too high. I need to wait for the retest. So I would have 100% waited for that to retest and give me an engulfing signal to the upside, of course. And it didn't. It just kept on going down. So that's good, because I can recognize, just looking at it, that, hey, that's clearly not what's happening. And then you had the push to the downside. So right now, weekly is still bullish. So just like the GBP AUD, it's kind of in the same boat. We're waiting for this consolidation to conclude and put a trade in for a short, for a long, sorry. Yeah, and that's it. That's our kind of weekly breakdown. That's what we managed to kind of achieve and, let's say, observe. Now I haven't put any trades with real money. I think I'm getting close to being a little bit more free and just have a bit more time to do it. And I just wanted to add a couple of things about the learnings. I've been watching a couple of videos, Alex's videos, the stuff that he's posted again. He has a thing about him that he's explaining so nice and so easy. It makes so much sense. So I would say there will be a small adjustment coming up for me as well for Sunday swings, or Sunday's market analysis, and I'm gonna pay extra attention to the area of interest, because that is really, really important, and the trend, the weekly trend, and weekly and daily trend, which is very, very important. So we'll see how that goes. But also I can see that the placement of the area of interest really, really matters. And I knew it does matter, and I think I'm pretty careful with it, but it's just, I think we need to be extra careful. I think the 1 to 0.5, it's not locked in. I think it's just something I'm exploring, so this is something to bear in mind. But anyway, guys, I wish I would have kept track of the days that I'm doing this. But I guess each update is a day, right? So we can probably see day 15. Which is, days, not necessarily days spent in front of the markets, because I do look at the markets during the week as well. I just can't find the time at night to do it, especially when I'm moderating for the TikTok, because that's like 3.5 4 hours. It's also happening from 8 to 11:30, 12 o'clock. So kind of choose all my energy up, and I come here and I'm just crushing. So I check when I get home. I just check the market, have a look at it briefly, and then feel sorry that I didn't enter, really. But you can do it. You can do it better than I can. And if you do succeed before me, just get in touch. Just get in touch, because what I'm really, really, really desperate and eager to do is to create a small, strong, very powerful network, which I'm sure every trader wishes to have, but just a bunch of good people that can talk to each other, like when we do the analysis, when we find trade to enter, when we're entering, when we exit, when we're taking the profit, and when we're doing the risk analysis and all that stuff. It's amazing having, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 people in our group and just go through it and organize it all would be, the ideal outcome for me. So if you like what I do and how I do it, look, just get in touch. Let's start a chat group, a Zoom call or something, so we can all join and make it happen. But enough for tonight. We reached an hour already. I'll keep doing this, and hopefully we get to see each other more often and make it happen. You know, finally break through and join the other crowd, so we can be financially free. So we're not gonna have to worry about anything else. Well, if you did enjoy this, and if you think it's got any value, you can hit the subscribe button and the like button. You can also share to other people. Like I said, there's not a lot of good information. It's just exploring the thing. So it's like you would only watch this to see when I'm becoming profitable, and it's really, really boring right now. I'm not losing money. I'm not making money. I'm just going through the grind and I'm looking at trades. Basically, that's it. It's just market analysis. Since I started this, it's been market analysis. And yes, I still hold the trade, if you're wondering. I'm still holding the, oops, sorry, that was the Kitoki. Okay, so my Euro USD, which has been going for quite a while, is down, easy, minus 1.1 million. So currently I've lost more than what I've made in the account. So I've made 1,040,000, and now I'm down under that as well. And the best this has been since I fucked it up was minus $800,000. But clearly is not good. Clearly is not gonna recover. But look, it's a free lesson we're gonna learn. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Let me close this before we get distracted. Go away.